We all know kids love to hear stories, but when we take the time to really listen, we find kids can also tell great stories. Their experiences may be limited, but that doesn't mean kids don't have a story to tell. There's something extraordinary and unique about a kid's perspective on life. It shows in the way they tell stories. They're unreserved in the details, the emotions, and the significance. Often as we grow older, we do the opposite. We minimize our experiences, even setting them aside. We get caught up in comparison instead of appreciating something for exactly what it is. Maybe instead of letting that childlike wonder slip away from us, we can reclaim a bit of it by spending more time with the masters themselves. How often do we take the time to truly listen to kids and hear what they have to say? Kids can be some of the deepest thinkers around and far more perceptive than we might believe. They aren't likely to easily take offense either, which is another reason why they're so easy to talk to and so quick to make new friends. Besides all that, they're typically downright hilarious. They may be watching our example, but we could stand to watch theirs. Today, I'm pleased to introduce two of my favorite people, Kaylee and Colton Taylor. As you're about to hear, they've already lived some pretty big experiences. I'll let them tell you for themselves.
Hi, my name is Kaylee Taylor. I am 11 years old. I enjoy riding horses and spending time with my family and going on trips.
Nice. Okay. And fun fact about you enjoying horses, it's not just a hobby. You're actually, you go to rodeos and compete in different things, right?
Mm-hmm.
So tell me a little bit about that and some of the rodeos that you've done.
Okay, so the event I do when I rodeo, I goat tie. So
I don't know any other kids that goat tie. Tell us about goat tying first.
So, first of all, pretty much what you do, you're just on your horse. It sounds kind of simple, but it's not as simple as it
I believe you.
So you're on your horse and you run down the arena, and once you get, I don't know, maybe 10 feet from the goat, you get off your horse and you run to the goat, and then you have a string with you and you flank it.
What does that mean?
Which means you grab one of the front legs.
Okay.
Grab the front legs and just kind of like the skin.
Okay.
And grab it, and then you pull it up and put it on the ground. And then you grab the front leg again and the two back legs. And then you just tie it. There's a certain way to tie it. But
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That sounds so hard.
It's super fun because you have a rodeo and all the parents and grandparents of all the kids that come are there. And they come, and the event you chose, you get to show off. And it's really cool because, it's just, yeah.
That's really cool.
It's really cool.
Have you ever chosen one besides goat tying, or is that your thing?
It's kind of my thing. I've done it, so I've been there as a camper for the past 3 years, but I've been there every single year because my mom and dad are help out.
Yeah.
They're there. So before I was actually a camper, when I was 7, 8, I kind of hung out with the trick ropers because they were the ones up there at the the place where it wasn't down in the arena. So I learned a couple tricks there, and I got a trick rope and stuff. Really, the whole thing, they have timers, and other girls will go, you compete against them, and they'll be they'll time, say they get a 15.9 or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then your goal for that is just to try to beat them, and then whoever is the fastest, then they get they win.
Okay.
So it's
do you know what your record time is?
My record time is, at a rodeo I did a 14. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So this year at Rodeo Bible Camp, I got the goat tying buckle, because for every event they have, they give out a buckle to who just tried hard, really hard, and just really got at it and just tried to help other people and stuff. So it's not always about, to win the buckle, it's not always about who's the fastest and who's the best. It's just about who tried the hardest and who really put their all into it and tried and tried and tried, whether or not they were covered in mud from head to toe.
Which sometimes happens.
Which sometimes does happen. But they just really put their all into it and tried really hard.
And you won the buckle this year?
Yeah. And usually, because my mom, since she, because they have staff meetings every morning, and they're usually kind of, talking about who they think, or who, the instructors come in, and they talk about who they're going to give the buckle to. And this year, my mom, she usually hears, but she didn't this year.
Oh, so it was a surprise for her,
So it was a surprise for her, too.
Did you guys cry?
No, we didn't cry, but we were they were and the winner this year of the buckle is Kaylee, and I was like, what?
Did your heart just start beating?
Yeah, it was kind of I was like, oh my gosh. But it was really cool.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the most favorite thing you've ever done?
Okay, well, we traveled the country and went to California, and we stopped at different places. We saw the Grand Canyon, and it was just really fun because we took a whole 2 weeks because we went to see my cousins graduating from boot camp.
Were there any disasters that happened that trip?
There were some tires that yeah, they popped, and it was in the desert of Nevada.
Yeah.
But it was kind of cool though, almost, because we were there was in the desert. That wasn't the cool part, but then there was another when the tire needed change that we were right by just a forest, and we kind of got to go just walk around in there.
Yeah.
Stuff, and we've gotten these little tools that have microscopes and stuff, so it was kind of cool. We just got to hang out for a little bit.
Sometimes those are the best parts of vacation.
Yeah.
It's the parts that you didn't plan.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then there was also when we went to Florida this last time, we were coming back and we were just gonna make it home good on time. We were all just gonna get home early, not real late or anything, and then our car stopped working. Oh, I can't even remember, but it was a couple hours.
Oh my goodness.
Trying to get it fixed, and we were just coming home, and we had to leave our car at this carpet place in Arkansas, 7 hours away.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, thankfully, we rode with our grandparents back home, but we were really squished. It wasn't really what we planned, but thankfully...
It was bonding time.
Yeah, sure, you can call it whatever you want, but... Yeah, but that was quite interesting, but we made it home a lot later than we thought, and kind of when we got home, we were just we were all just done.
Yeah. Vacation is over.
Yeah, we were totally done because our vehicle and all of our stuff was 7 hours away in Arkansas.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, that's kind of another crazy story.
I am 8 years old. My favorite sport would be soccer probably because I've been playing it for 4 seasons now. I like football. I watch the NFL a lot with my dad.
Well, I know that you have a crazy story about a time when you saved your brother's life.
Yeah. So one day we went camping and there was a big lake and there was a pool and we stayed in cabins and there was a pool right in front, and one day we went swimming in the pool and there's a part where it's 3 feet deep and then it goes deeper. There's a hill.
Mm-hmm. So it
in
drops off and gets really deep.
Yeah, and then the deepest it gets is 10 feet deep. And so my brother was done swimming. And so he took off his life jacket since he's only 4. And so he came back out, he ran, and he jumped in the 10 feet deep part of the pool so he couldn't swim because he doesn't know how to swim. And I was just sitting like right by where he jumped in. So I heard a big splash, so I looked, and then I heard yelling.
Oh my goodness.
And I could tell it was Trey's voice, so I jumped in the water, and I like just got dried off. I jumped in the water, and I went under him, and I put his feet on my shoulders. I tried to swim, but he's really heavy.
Yeah.
He's heavier than me. And he was on my shoulders, so I had to like go under, come up real hard, and then I had to go under because I got tired of swimming. I had to come up. And then Trey started yelling, and I don't know if they could hear because my mom and everybody was talking right by it, and they couldn't tell how they weren't.
Because nobody else noticed what was going on.
Yeah, they were just talking. And then Trey told Trey to yell his loudest. And he yelled, and he yelled his loudest. And so they finally figured out, and then my dad came, and he got him out of the pool.
But he never would have made it if you hadn't jumped in.
No, he wouldn't have.
That's crazy.
Unless he yelled. No, like
But by that time, by the time they'd hurt him, he could have drowned by then.
Yeah.
What was going through your mind when you, saw him yelling? Because you didn't even wait. You just jumped right in to save him.
Yeah, I just heard a splash and I heard yelling, and I jumped in. I could tell it was Trey's voice. So I jumped in, I went underwater, and I picked him up on my shoulders because that would be the best place.
Mm-hmm.
So when I did that, I had a big scrape on my forehead because it was it's almost like popcorn, but it was concrete.
Oh.
And it scraped against because it was real close to the edge.
Oh, so you scraped your head.
So I scraped my head when I was coming up, and I had a big scrape on my forehead when I came out. Yeah, so then I was yelling too.
The mark of a true hero. Were you scared?
I was pretty scared because it was really hard to swim, and I had to go underwater for just a second because I was using all my breath to swim. Too, so I was and I was breathing and I was swimming at the same time. So I had to go under for 1 second, and that was all I could do. And then I could swim 1 second, and it took maybe 20 seconds until they noticed.
Man, and you were swimming for your life and for his life.
I was thankful that I didn't have to wear a life jacket and I could swim, because if I did that, I probably would have drowned, and then Trey probably would have too.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't know that, I would probably think about it for a minute, and then I would go tell my mom and dad, because I was
Yeah, but because you knew how to swim, you didn't have to hesitate. You could just jump in and save his life. There was probably so much adrenaline, you just had to jump right in.
Yeah. I was so fast at it, I didn't need to think about it much, so I just stood up and then jumped in.
Yeah.
And then, so I came up under him and I was looking up, and then that's when I felt a scrape on my head. Scrape. And then a little blood got in the water, but yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, only a little tiny bit. So when we went to the Capitol, before we went, I had to make up a bill. And so once we got there, I was really nervous because that was the first time I went. And I wasn't too scared because my cousins went. So we had seats all the way back. And so there were 2 seats on each desk. And then we got in a big line. And then we presented our bills. And so my bill was, every time you cough, you have to dab. Because you know how you always cover your mouth?
Yeah.
Dabbing would almost be the same thing because you're putting your hand over your mouth.
So you're coughing into your elbow.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in style.
Yeah.
That's amazing. How did you come up with that idea?
My mom just said we could do a funny thing. I thought it would be have to be
A serious thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
We got to look at the books in the library. It was pretty cool. It was lots of bills and stuff. If you wanted to think of a bill that would be good, you could go back and look at bills and see if they would be good for this year too.
Yeah. So did you think that was going to be a boring assignment?
I didn't think it was going to be boring, but I was just nervous.
Yeah, I would be too.
Yeah.
Because you had to get all dressed up and everything. And
I had
present.
this big vest on, and I gelled my hair.
Man.
Yeah.
Got all slicked up and went and presented your dabbing for better health.
Yeah.
Did it make you want to be a politician?
No.
Fair enough.
A good takeaway for this week would be to engage with the younger generation around us, to show interest in their life, in their stories, and in the way they tell them. But I think we could take it a step further. You know by now that I'm passionate about stories, but I can still find myself asking, what's the big deal anyway? See, somewhere along the line, as we grow older, we accept the idea that life isn't worth celebrating, and that individual memories aren't that important. Perhaps if we regain some of that wonder in our experiences, our proud moments, sad moments, and every mundane thing in between, we could really treasure this life and the people in it. It makes me think of the classic Louis Armstrong line, "I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know." And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. My challenge for this week would be to recapture the wonder in your own story. At every point when you're tempted to minimize or overlook, choose instead to value. Look at it through the eyes of a child and let the stories of others remind you what a wonderful world we live in. Music for the show is by Nathan Hall, and artwork by Ashley Crutcher and Jenny Brewster. Thanks for listening to You Never Asked.